Greetings, everyone. DFG Gideon's Flight. Hey, guys. I hope you're having a great week. Start to your week. Today is Tuesday. Um, I just want to take a few minutes and talk about really three different things. First, Walmart starting to now eliminate cashiers from all of their stores. Second, some conversation around these protests and what really matters versus what's just you know um, smoking mirrors. And then last but not least, I want to really take you into the book and validate for you, verify for you when you hear me talking in terms of many others, not just myself, forewarning you, forewarning everyone that we are in the last days of mankind. We're in the last days. And I know many of you don't want to believe that. You want to believe that life's just going to go on and everything's going to keep on happening and things will just get better. But all the indicators, even you know that, whether you want to admit it or not, all the indicators are telling you that things are about as unusual as they can possibly be. And if you look at the last several years, it has gotten progressively worse week by week, month by month, year by year. And only someone who has something else going on within themselves would turn a blind eye to what I'm saying right now. But that being said, let's just get on into this message, okay? I'll be short, promise you that. First thing, let's talk about, Walmart closing, getting rid of cashiers. Now, again, if you followed this video platform or my channel for years, I've said this time and time and time again that the day is going to come, they're going to eliminate most of the workforce as you know it today through automation. And they're going to come up with any concoction, any excuse, any rationale, any logic to beguile you, to trick you, to deceive you into thinking that they're doing what's in the best interest of you, including giving you free money, free stimulus money. It was interestingly enough, I was in a conversation a couple of days ago on the walking trail, and I run into this strange, female who happens to be Caucasian. Not that that would matter, but it was. Probably lady, Tulane graduate, which is one of the most prestigious colleges in the South. But she had some years on her. She was probably in her 70s. And of course, she wanted to have some dialogue with me about the racial climate. And the conversation, went on about, how I felt about what happened to George Floyd. And I told her, I said, well, I'm upset about it. I don't like what happened one bit. Well, don't you feel good about all the protests and everything that's going on? I said, no, not really. I said, why would I feel good about the protests when I've seen this before? Time and time and time again. You can't live 6 decades and not have seen this before. Well, but it's different. It's over the whole globe. Yeah, Michael Brown protest was over the whole globe. There have been many protests that have been over the whole globe, in terms of things that have happened to people, so-called African Americans, who we now know are the Hebrew Israelites. Many things. And nothing has changed. When everybody decide that, okay, enough is enough, I'm tired now, I'm getting bored with this, let me get on back to my life. So I told her that's nothing new. And she looked at me, and you could tell she had a certain level of, unsatisfactory, to say the least. You could tell she wasn't happy about me not being giddy and jolly because, white people around the world were protesting because, one of our own, talking about Hebrew Israelite, males, was killed by another vicious, white, racist pig. And I'm not calling him a pig because he's a police officer. I'm calling him a pig because he's a vicious, rotten, dirty, two-legged pig. Or dog, whichever one you want to use. And, and so protesting and marching, I told her, hasn't solved anything. And she said, well, what do you want? What do you want? I said, what do you think we want? I said, first of all, we want justice. We want to be treated with respect, and we want to be treated with dignity. We want accountability to anyone that puts their hands on us. We want the same accountability that would be if it was us putting our hands on you. And in addition to that, we want it to be a hate crime if you touch us. In addition to that, then she cut me off. She started, well, I understand the oppression in America. I said, what's been going on for a long time? Yeah, when I was a young woman, they wouldn't let me move up in the corporations that I was because I was a white female. And I said, wait, let's not compare and contrast this. I said, you're taking this down the wrong word, man. I said, respectfully. I said, this is not the same thing as hashtag Me Too. I don't remember anybody slaughtering, hanging, raping, and beating, enslaving white women because of the color, because they were females. All right? I said, so I don't agree with that. Well, what about the Jews? I said, what about them? You said, well, they were treated with oppression too. I said, well, tell me something. Who was the person who mistreated the Jews, or you as a female, or me as a so-called black male? I said, I'm gonna tell you the answer. I said, white men. So what are y'all gonna do about it? And she got quiet because I guess I don't know. Guess she didn't. I guess at that particular time, I began to realize she felt like that she probably was thinking, oh boy, I picked on the wrong Negro here. I probably should have kept walking. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, ma'am, you probably should have kept walking. It's about to get a little bit hotter. And I said, and not only I said, we've been here before you guys were here. I said, we've been here over 400 years plus. I said, we have been getting the short end of the stick, getting abused, misused, taken advantage of, etc. And we haven't gotten any reparations for that. Any compensation for it, nothing. Anytime we bring it up, at that point, you can see she was like, oh, I don't want to hear nothing else from you. Please shut your mouth. I said, the Jews got reparations, whites. The Native Americans got reparations, $5 Indians, white. The Japanese got reparations. Oh, sorry, again, white. I said, but when it comes down to our people, the people who built this nation, or at least the foundation of the wealth of this nation, we get nothing but told that we don't have, any resources for you. And then she said, well, it don't matter. The money ain't worth nothing anyway. I said, well, it must be worth something because I see all you guys got stimulus packages. I said, I tell you, not only that, why don't you give us some of that worthless money that you claim that doesn't mean anything? And now this conversation, I'm giving you the short version of the conversation. Now this conversation is probably into 12, 15 minutes. And you should have seen the annoyance on her face. Because she wanted to see some, crying, weeping black male, another crying black man talking about how bad he's been treated and how bad America is and why don't they just love me. Well, I'm sure she walked around and said, this ain't the nigga for me to be playing that game with. And yeah, I said nigga. I'm sure that's what she was thinking. Maybe she wasn't, but that's what I prefer to think she was thinking. I'll take my own liberties in making that assessment because the look on her face sure didn't seem to be, very pleased and pleasant by the dialogue we were having. And I said, the bottom line is that either they're going to do something or else. And she was like, well, what does that mean? I said, whatever what else means. And I left it like that. Homegirl just kind of turned around and went on. She didn't even say goodbye. And I was about as satisfied as I could possibly be that she didn't. Because enough of that conflating our issues with LBGT issues and hashtags women getting harassment issues as though those are the same things. And they have nothing in common with one another. Well, they do have one thing in common with one another. White male bigots pretty much, are always at the center of the brutality, of the wickedness. It has that. Again, not all white men, but most of them, solidly and verbally, non-solemnly, that's pretty much who the culprits in this. But I take that and I'm going to curve this thing a little bit. And we'll talk about Wal-Mart. Again, as I started this statement a moment ago, I know how to circle back. They've been saying for time and time again, they're going to eliminate these jobs. When they started talking about these automatic checkout lines, a lot of people were complaining about that. I even remember calling a person who worked for Walmart and said, you better watch out because he was boasting about how they got the freshest checkout and automation. I said, ultimately that's going to come for you, right? And of course, well, if it does, it's no big deal. I'm like, okay, here's that dumb, blind Hebrew Israelite, that one who's in denial. White man love me, so he ain't gonna do that to me. You follow me? And now I'm sure it's with a knock on her door, I bet you she has somewhat of a difference of an opinion. But again, like I like to do, I like to just see, let me see if I can get right back to this article and I can show you some dialogue with the article, with the actual article and what it says. Okay? Let's go here. You'll bear with me. All right, here we go. Walmart looks to remove all cashiers. Let's see, can y'all see that? From its stores. Now let's read the article. New York, Walmart is testing a store that will only offer self-checkout. The retailer is removing cashiers and standard conveyor belt lines at one of its popular superstores in Fayetteville, Arkansas. That's their home office, in case you didn't know what Fayetteville was, okay? Just for the record, Fayetteville is Walmart's corporate office. That's important to know. So if they rolled it out there, you better believe it's coming to, that's where they do all their new store testing, the new layouts, things of that nature. Remember, I spent 15 years with that corporation. I know a lot about how they operate and a senior leadership capacity, I might add. So I know a little bit about Walmart. Walmart says it is an attempt to see if checkout times are faster while limiting human interaction in the age of, and this is where the bullshit kicks in, the coronavirus. Isn't that interesting? Workers still have to be available to help customers who have trouble doing the checkout themselves. Depending on the success of the test, Walmart could expand the program to more stores. Okay? You can find that article yourself. But again, you see how they're using now the coronavirus, the last part of this, as a way to justify eliminating jobs. The pandemic. Now the pandemic is at a place, and I'm sure you guys can't see me because I can't even see. So I do apologize for the slight, darkness of these already dark features, all right? But you can handle it. But that's a pre-planned thing, guys. They and this is not going to happen at Walmart. This is just at anywhere where there's interaction, service industry jobs. I'm telling you guys, whether it's truck drivers, doctors, nurses, cashiers, sanitation, anywhere where you're going face-to-face, human interaction, any kind of deliveries, I'm telling you guys, it's going away. And when it goes away, they're going to have to figure out what to do with all these people, these so-called useless eaters, and how they're going to keep themselves out, i.e. the coronavirus, i.e. targeting poor people, i.e. targeting black people with the vaccine, so that they can make sure that whatever they put in those vaccines, your asses are not going to be around very long. For you all who takes them. For you guys who are just too willing to go along with, because at the end of the day, you trust this government with all your everything, although this government has proven over its own history that it's about one of the most wicked nations on the planet, even to this very current time. If you don't believe me, just ask. You're not going to do it, because most of the media ain't going to tell you this, and most of you guys ain't going to leave out your damn neighborhoods. But if you were to travel around this world to other countries and ask them about America, and they would tell you, who you talking about, the Great Satan? Why you think they call them the Great Satan? They call this country the Great Satan. And who you think they're talking about? Surely not the Hebrew Israelite, because we don't have the power to bust a damn grape open in the bigger scheme of things. They're talking about the wickedness of this country and how it manipulates the world through violence and greed and the stealing of resources. And they use the coronavirus to take and justify all of you guys sitting at home waiting to get something for nothing and getting you used to it. So when these jobs like Walmart, all of them come back and don't have any jobs, unemployment goes off the chart, and you're in those food lines with soldiers who are forcing you to stay in that line, and if you get sick, forcing you to the FEMA camps, then you'll understand clearly that you should have saw it coming. But you refuse to hear the truth. And that's what Yeshua told us. You shall know that truth. The truth shall set you free. But he said, woe unto him who rejects the truth. And I say that to many of you guys, woe unto you, because you refuse to accept this truth until the day it comes when it's far too late. DFG, signing off. Talk to you later, guys. I'll be back in a moment.